you had time to wrap your mind around the end of the year yet? Or?
You know, this has been a great time of year for us. You know, July 1 is usually the starting gun for recruiting and for our camps, and it's a very, very busy time of the year, but it's something we really enjoy, and obviously we feel we've been successful in both. We've had a nice recruiting period, and obviously our camps have been very, very successful. We've had great weather, which is important for all of that to happen, so it's been a very productive July so far.
How are you going about monitoring your kids in the summer, John, that are off playing? You kind of let them do their own thing, or do you keep in touch with them about what they're doing?
You know, Matt, I tell you, the best thing is Twitter. You know, like guys like you, and just, you know, being able to retweet people who are really paying close attention, not only to our professional guys, but to our guys playing college baseball too, in collegiate leagues around the country, all the way from California to Cape Cod and everywhere in between. I know they're having great summers, and in the summers are really important to go out and really hone your craft, and I think that's what you know, what our kids have been able to do.
Been keeping up with the guys in minor league baseball too. Just left the school, or maybe been here a couple years or so.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we keep up with those guys and just let them know that we're here for them, and it's just so neat to see them kind of take their game off on their own and become really independent and kind of create their own way of doing things. And you know, there's so much growth that happens in the summer. I think there's no question Chris Stratton became, you know, a really confident, great pitcher when he went off to Cape Cod, and certainly, you know, Hunter Renfroe went out and had a great summer before he came back and became a first rounder. So the summer is really important, and you know, keeping tabs on those kids is important also.
You had a really good 2013 signing class. You didn't lose any of them to the pros. You got to be happy about that.
I am. You know, it might be the first time in my 22 years that I have not lost a player to professional baseball, and I think some of that is circumstantial. Some of it's good fortune, because certainly a bunch of them are good enough to sign professional careers or contracts. And so I feel very thankful that we're going to get all these kids. Many of them are in summer school right now, and that's exciting as well, because they're getting a little bit of a head start in terms of strength and conditioning and classwork, and so all that's positive.
You mentioned earlier recruiting. How does it help, talking to Nick and Butch out there, how does it help being runner-ups, national champion runner-ups?
Well, certainly playing on a national stage and being on television really, really helps a lot. You know, I feel like Mississippi State's always had a great tradition in the Deep South. And we feel like we have always been able to attract top-notch talent, especially in the states of Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida. But certainly when you play on television as much as we have, it has really opened the door to some parts of the country that aren't as familiar with the Deep South and Mississippi State. So that's been very beneficial to our program as well.
You've had two back-to-back first-rounders. That's took that too.
Yeah, I really feel like, again, there's some fortune involved with that. There's some hard work. There's some really neat things involved with that process. But we're so proud of those kids, and I've said this a gazillion times, and I apologize, but those kids come from parents who really provided an environment for them to become a first rounder at some point, and really all the credit goes to those guys.
Kyle said you were raising money here today for the Children's Hospital in Jackson.
We are. There's only one children's hospital in the state of Mississippi, and that's Batson Children's Hospital, and they've done so much tremendous work for the people of the state of Mississippi. And you know, my wife Nell has just encouraged me, and we tried to figure out a way to raise some money for those folks. And through our camps, through some pictures and things of that nature, we've been able to do just a little bit for a place that does a whole lot for the state of Mississippi.
I'm going to use one of your favorite words, John, but when does the identity of the 14 team kind of come together in your mind and in your coaching staff's mind?
You know, you just don't know until you get into the fall, Matt. I mean, that's a great question. You just don't know, because we've lost some integral parts, some tremendous leadership. You know, some of our best leaders are coming back. Wes Ray, C.T. Bradford, Brett Pirtle. We feel like we have some really nice pieces to the puzzle coming back. Alex Detz, one of the great on-base guys in the Southeastern Conference. So we feel like we have some great pieces coming back, but we got to replace behind the plate. We have to replace shortstop. We have to replace one of the most dynamic outfielders ever played in the SEC. So our work's cut out for us, but at the same time, we feel very comfortable with the level of athleticism we bring back, and with the recruiting class as well.
What is it that makes the Children's Hospital just such a special charity for you? And you know, just how much did you manage to raise with the camp and the autographs today?
You know, I don't know how much we have raised because that's going on right now, but certainly it's just a thumbnail or just a tiny bit of what we need to do for this children's hospital because of the work that they've done, the lives they have saved, the lives they have changed in the state and throughout the Southeast. So, you know, the light really went on for me when we visited a hospital in Omaha, a children's hospital in Omaha, and here we are. We have one of the great ones in the entire country in our own state at Batson, and we're going to do everything we can to help those guys. And we've had a great cooperative agreement in the last couple of years with Batson, so we appreciate what they have done for us, and boy, you know, we're going to do everything we can to help them as well.
You mentioned athleticism. Two of your young, well really three of your young guys, Daniel Garner, Jacob Robson, and Kyle Hahn, are having great summers. Where do you see them? What do you expect from them this coming year?
You know, you just don't know. Certainly, I knew Kyle Hahn and Jacob Robson would be very talented kids, and for them to be up close to kids who had great years, for you know, to be on a team that had a great year, I think it's really important. It kind of propels them into the summer. But certainly, you know, Cody Brown is playing extremely well. It just goes on. Jacob Lindgren's pitching well. Of course, Jonathan Holder's in the Cape, and he's pitching well. It goes on and on and on. Garner, a redshirt catcher for us, is made the All-Star team in the California League. So we have a lot of kids playing awfully well right now, and that's important, and they know that. I think when you don't get to play during the course of the spring, I really think it makes you hungry for the summer and that opportunity to show your skills.